Hey guys, how you doing? This is Andy Huang. 大家好，我是黄家贤. Hey, listen, today I want to talk about, I've been asked so many times, so I decided, you know what, let me just put one video out so people could always reference it if they need to. They always ask me, is there a difference, or what is the difference between home inspection and inspections report, engineers report, and then the appraiser, and also a final walkthrough? Or is it a difference? Well, my answer is always, of course. So I've spent, my other posts and videos, I've talked about it in detail, what home inspection is, what is the difference between an inspector and engineer's report, and so on and so forth. When is the right time to order? So I'm not gonna go in too much this time. So if you want, please, you'll be able to search it up under, Andy Huang, and then you'll be able to search it under my YouTube channel. Okay, so now let's talk about the home inspection, and then appraiser, and also a final walkthrough. Okay, so there are 3 different procedures for 3 different reasons and at 3 totally different time frames. Okay, so first things first. An inspection, I always recommend between the sellers, between the buyers. I always tell them, when you want to order the inspection, you want to do it earlier in the process. And obviously there's a reason for it. So if you're the seller, okay, you want to sell your house, you have to be able to know what's wrong with your house first in order for you to negotiate with someone else. So if I'm the buyer and I order an inspection and you never done an inspection, and I found out there's water leak, there's electricity, let's say electrical leak, or your electric box is not up to code, and so on and so forth. And for me to come and ask you all these questions and start negotiating price, and if your answer is always, huh? Oh, I didn't know that, huh? You can see where this conversation is going to go. So I always encourage all these sellers, you know what, look at it as an investment. The typical inspection for a single family or or a 2-family runs you about $350 to $450. Okay, really is a very small amount of investment. Okay, and then the amount of money that you could recover and you could get back from it, it is, when you talk about, return on investment, there is probably nothing going to get you more than you spend that initial $300 to $500 on your home inspection. So I always tell all my sellers to do it. And then as far as the buyers is concerned, I always tell them the same thing. They always come, they always argue, hey, listen, why am I paying for this inspection? Why isn't the seller paying for it? And then so on and so forth. So I always tell them, hey, listen, when you order that inspection, okay, you're hiring that inspector, and then that inspector is working for you. So you're the client. So he or she, needs to share that information with you, and he or she will work because you're the client. Now imagine if I'm the seller, I order a report. I may or may not, share with you. And likewise, so you know what, if you're the buyer, but more than that, it's a common sense. Okay, so you're buying this house, and then that process will take, depending on, if there's loans involved, and if there's, any special, special conditions involved. So you're looking at about 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days into the contract. So now, if you only order, a lot of people's understanding is, I only order that home inspection when we go into contract, and that's incorrect, because understand that at that point you're already 60. Think about it. You go to the open house, or you go for a private showing, and then you go back and forth with a listing agent and try to submit a binder, a proposal for a purchase, and then the seller will go back and forth. So by that time, when the contract goes out and when you sign it, when the seller signs it, you're talking about maybe a month or 2 into the process already. Right? So now here's when you order the inspection, and God forbid if that inspection comes back and something wrong with the house, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna get the house. You're not gonna, obviously, if there's something wrong, hazardous, you don't want to buy it, right? So if you don't want to buy it, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to start this whole process again, go look for another house, and so on and so forth. So I've seen this so many times. Okay, just get an inspection done. Okay, again, just like for the sellers, this is an investment. This is an investment for the buyers, that you make sure that you don't waste any time. Because right now it's a seller's market. Listen, I always tell everyone, don't sleep on it if you want to sleep in it. Okay, so so it's a no-brainer. Okay, that which brings us to the second question that I'm always asked: what is the appraiser then? If it's an inspection, finding out. So understand this: inspection is done to find out the condition of the house. Okay, anything safety related, anything, it's done through the inspection. The appraiser, it's not there to inspect your house. The appraiser is simply there to see, to make sure, because when you come into the bank or when you come into the lending institution, you have told us you need an X amount of money for property Y. So my job is here to make sure that property Y could be used as a collateral in case if you can't pay us back. Meaning that if the condo or if the house, let's use a single family house. If the house is $1 million, 1.2, okay, so for $1 million, you're taking out 10% or 20%, right? So the bank it's lending you, $800,000 or $900,000. So they wanted to make sure, in case if you default, meaning in case if you cannot pay us back, we have to now sell this house to, recover our initial loss or the initial investment, however they look at it. Right? So that's exactly why you have an appraiser coming in, just to make sure, because most of the lending institution, they will lend you probably 80%, a max ratio of about 80%. Okay, again, we talked about this before. This is different than the loan to debt ratio, meaning how much you make, how much you spend. So that's different. When you talk about when they qualify you for a mortgage, they look at your asset, your income, and your debt. Okay, so and then now once you secure that mortgage is, a lot of people think of mortgage, they don't understand a lot of things are, packaged in that deal. You have the principal, you have the interest, you have the taxes, and you have the insurance. That's why the easiest way to think about insurance is PITI, P-I-T-I, and that's what the mortgage is. All right, so and then now there's the third thing, which is the final walkthrough. Again, remember we talked about the time frame for the inspection, also a time frame for appraiser, and then now it's the time frame for final walkthrough. Now, when you hear final walkthrough, that means you're at you're close to the end. Then that's absolutely correct, because the final walkthrough normally happens within about 3 days prior to closing. So at that time is when you're going to be closing. You're going to be at the closing table in about 2-3 days. Okay, that's a lot of people goes, what exactly do you do then? Well, it's very easy. Remember, we started this process 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, however long we started the process. So if this is the house, I wanted to make sure that this is what I'm buying, right? So because now we're going to the closing table. Now when was the moment we quote unquote close, meaning that the title is transferred, now that's mine. So I wanted to make sure if I stopped by 3 months ago or whatever time frame was, and there's a chandelier, beautiful crystal chandelier there, that chandelier has to be there. You can't say, part of the condition is I'm selling you the house that, all the fixtures attached to it, and all of a sudden I come in, chandelier is gone, you yank out the stove, you took the refrigerator, and and then you took the washers and dryers, stuff like that. You can't do that. All right, so that's what the final walkthrough is. This just means that, hey, listen, we're about to close now. You're about to becoming the owner of this new house, the new property. We want to make sure this is the condition that we're buying. So that's what it is. So again, these 3 things are done completely different time frame for different reasons. Okay, so if you have any questions, please, I always encourage everyone, you could always search me up, social media across any platform. You could call me directly, 646-996-0859, and you could always email me, andyhuangrealtor@gmail.com. All right, guys, I know this is a not a detailed version, because again, I talked about this before. There's a much detailed version of what an inspection is, what's expected before, during, and after the inspection, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you have any questions, please search it up, and if you still have any questions or concerns, call me. Okay, use those contact info, call me, email me, text me, or whatever it is. All right, guys, so I know the weekend is beautiful. Today is, oh my God, it's 80 degrees right now. Okay, so tomorrow's going to be just as gorgeous. I know this weekend is going to be so busy. So many people are holding open houses, attending open houses. So enjoy, have fun. And then, I will speak with you guys later. Bye now.